You're in your mid-30s, grew up with fond memories of video games, continued your love of gaming into adulthood, met the love of your life, played games together, got married, spent much less time gaming but never stopped, became a dad, started to look for dad-friendly gaming products, searched for items you never thought you'd be interested in, asked your wife if you were too loud in bed, stopped playing certain genres of games, and found yourself very limited with time. Still, you look for ways to enjoy gaming. You are a dad gamer. I became a dad in December 2023, and it's been an amazing 7-month journey with my lovely son. But this video is not about my love for my newborn. As I'm slowly adjusting to my new role in life, I'm developing a new system for digital entertainment, especially video gaming, and I want to share my experience with all of you, whether you're already a dad, soon to be a dad, or even just dating your right hand. I grew up as a PC gamer, and only in recent years have I become a Nintendo Switch user. I love both platforms, but I've always been a PC-first guy. My gaming PC isn't fancy. It's equipped with a Ryzen 5 CPU and an NVIDIA 3060 GPU. It runs all the games I want to play, so no complaints at all. The PC is running Ubuntu LTS. Over a year ago, the Windows operating system completely broke down and prevented me from booting into the system. I've been a happy Linux desktop user for over 1.5 years now. I don't have a large Steam library, but 99% of my owned games run fine on Linux, and it's been very stable. Because there are no unavoidable Windows updates and reboots, I find it easier to get into gaming instantly with a Linux PC. While my Ubuntu setup isn't completely free of issues, it's been very manageable and overall a decent experience. Since I don't have time to mess around with the operating system, like installing beta drivers or experimenting with new software, the system just works every day. I never shut it down or put it to sleep. The other major gaming device I own is a Nintendo Switch. I've been a Switch gamer for years now. In fact, it was the Nintendo Switch that brought me back to gaming in 2019 after a decade-long absence. More specifically, it was Fire Emblem Three Houses, but that's beside the point. What I want to say is that I love my Switch and will continue to play on it. As a new dad, a portable gaming device is almost a must-have because it's nearly impossible for me to sit down at a fixed location to game for a long period of time. That's why I've spent much more time on my Switch than on my PC in the past 7 months. The problem is that the Switch is a really old device, and many games I want to play are simply not playable or impossible to port to the platform. In the next section, I'll discuss the specific games I've been playing and the issues I've been dealing with. Being a dad means a lot of things. Some are expected, like the responsibility for the baby and the shift of focus in life. For me, the challenge is that I no longer have the luxury of being devoted to a hobby. Video games have been my most important media consumption since I picked them up some years ago. I'm not a fan of many genres, but I still enjoy a wide range of games. I love turn-based strategy games with great stories, open-world RPGs, and challenging action games. However, after becoming a dad, the number of video games I can enjoy has drastically reduced, mainly due to the fragmentation of my game time. Naturally, certain types of games are no longer of interest to me. Here are some examples. First of all, any game that takes a long time to load is out. For instance, I used to love Red Dead Redemption 2 and spent over hundreds of hours on it, but it takes forever to load. Since I don't have much gaming time, I no longer want to sit back and wait for the loading process to finish. Related to the first point, games that are story-rich but don't allow you to pause or skip cinematics are extremely annoying to me now. Not that they weren't annoying before I became a dad, but if I already know the basic story, I would love to have the choice to get into gameplay instantly, rather than watching not-so-interesting dialogues or pause when my baby boy needs me. To me, cutscenes in games should be able to be paused, skipped, and rewatched at any time. The third kind of games I can't continue playing are those that require hammering on the controller buttons. In the past months, I have gamed in bed on my Switch a lot more, and smashing buttons while my wife is getting precious sleep is not a smart decision. I'm not sure if there are silent Joy-Cons or controllers, but even if they exist, I imagine the clicking experience wouldn't be great. For this reason, I no longer play Dead Cells, which has been one of my favorite games in recent years. Another thing I've noticed about myself is that I now have very little patience for learning new games. Games that are complicated to get into used to be inviting, but are now just annoying. I now seek familiarity and comfort rather than challenge when it comes to gaming. Based on my experience over the past half year, these are the most dad-friendly games for me. Turn-based RPGs such as Triangle Strategy and Fire Emblem, visual novels such as 13 Sentinels, Phoenix Wright, slower-paced games such as Balatro or Stacklands, racing games since they require minimal button clicking, games like Vampire Survivor because 90% of the time you just move around with a joystick. Recently, my favorite game to play in bed is 13 Sentinels on Nintendo Switch. If I'm on my PC during the weekend, I would play Forza Horizon 4, which I picked up during a sale last month. It's amazing to drive around in England with the in-game timeless radio station playing beautiful classical music. This is a video I never thought I would make because it doesn't provide much valuable information. I always want to create content that can be helpful, and this is just me sharing my experience. I hope it's not too boring for the few people who actually watch this far. All I want to say is that I am extremely happy and grateful to have a beautiful and understanding wife who never stops me from doing what I love, and to have a cute baby boy who I imagine will join my gaming hobby in a few years.